Hi, Brad. How are you? Thanks for joining me today. Would you mind just introducing yourself, please?
Yes, of course. Hi, I'm Brad. I'm 20 years old and a young carer for my mum. I'm currently representing MYTIME in their Youth Advisory and Action Board.
Lovely. And would you mind just sharing a little bit about how you deal with financial institutions? So, on a day-to-day basis, sort of to be able to help your mum?
It's mainly a case of going over certain emails when stuff comes through for her, or whether it's a case of phoning some people up to make sure it's all rolling. Those kind of situations, really.
Okay. And what sort of companies are they generally that you're dealing with?
The bank is the main one.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the main one we use in the family, and an occasional PIP or um, I can't remember their name, but more of the benefit schemes and stuff like
Okay. And when you're dealing with these companies on behalf of your mum, what sort of challenges do you come across frequently?
that. There's a lot of obviously the data protection and stuff like that, of course,
Hmm.
but it's a lot of going back and forth to her, which she finds quite draining. It can really affect her health with more the thinking side of it all when she needs to rest. And go through all the paperwork and all that kind of jargon. So
Okay. So is it kind of like do you have to kind of relay back to your mum what the companies are saying rather than being able to deal on her behalf, or?
quite frequently, yeah, it's a lot of back and forth my end. I'm more the middle person sometimes, so it can be quite challenging sometimes, especially because I'm dyslexic myself. So trying to
Okay.
relate well is quite difficult.
Yeah. And time consuming, I bet as well.
Quite, yeah.
And what would help you? Like, what support or things could be done to sort of make your life and your mum's life easier when you're doing some of these activities? And
I mean, maybe not so much of the whole like background words. It's more like direct to the point. Having to go through all the paperwork and trying to summarize it in your head and then relay that, and then things get lost in the cracks. I can find
Mhm.
sometimes,
Yeah.
or maybe if there's some sort of way for other young carers for it to be a system where any sort of information can be shared between I or other young carers. So it's again, there's a lot of that less back and forth. I don't know. It can be a grey area with all the data protection and stuff like that. But if that was identified on a system or something, I think that'd be quite beneficial.
Yeah, so each time you deal with these companies, do you have to kind of repeat yourself, or do they know that you're dealing on behalf of your mum, or each time you speak to them, do you have to go through the whole thing again, or?
Um, it, it's really hit and miss. There's sometimes where I have to go through the entire process all over again, and then
Hmm.
there's sometimes where it's not as invasive, but
Yeah.
it still happens. So a
Hmm. Yeah, it's frustrating then, and it takes a long time.
little bit,
And
yeah.
do you understand, like, so some of the documents and stuff that you have to read and then relay back to your mum, um, do you understand it all yourself? Like, do you understand financial products and how financial firms operate and
Not
things like that?
really.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of not just your young carers, with young people in general. There's not really much grand scope on finances or anything like that to actually learn. It's basically a case of unfortunately you leave school and you get thrown straight into it really.
Yeah.
so, so yeah.